Good morning, bonjour, buonasera. Welcome to Life Lessons Straight Up with a Twist. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. As always, we'll get started with a question, and whatever activity you engage in for self-reflection, please feel free to do. So whether that's writing in a journal, recording yourself speaking, do whatever works best for you. So today's first question is, what languages do I speak? What languages do I speak? So when I came up with this question today, it was very purposeful, which is obviously, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know everything I do is purposeful and intentional. But I actually wanted to bring it as a figurative example. So not literally what languages do you speak, but more of a figurative, metaphorical or metaphor type of question. But as I thought about it and as I started thinking about what I was going to say, I said, no, I think we need both. I think we need to look at this question, and I think it would be very helpful to look at this question in both ways. So I will actually start with the literal example or kind of context. When we think about what languages, or you think about what languages do I speak, especially if you're from America, unfortunately, we're not taught additional languages. It's optional. I think around the time of, depending on where you go to high school, sometimes there's a language requirement. But if you look at other countries around the world, you typically will have the language of the country and sometimes multiple languages, obviously, in depending on the country. And then you also learn English. And so in a literal sense, I definitely think one of the reasons I actually greet the way that I introduce the podcast in a few different languages every different time is because as this, stigma that Americans have, when I went to travel to Europe, I wanted to make sure that obviously I also don't follow the stigma just because of who I am. But that being said, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting to this country and with the assumption that everybody speaks English. To me, I just felt like it's a very disrespectful way to think. Yes, most countries do speak English along with whatever other language the countries, are in that particular country. But I just didn't feel right thinking like that. So before I left to Europe, I knew I was going for like a year and a half. So I actually learned more than just hello and goodbye. So more than just hello and goodbye in French, more than just hello and goodbye in Italian. And I've been speaking Spanish since I was really young, so that one wasn't really that difficult. But I still wanted to make sure that I was kind of up on my game because I don't speak Spanish every day like I used to. And so that's the literal part. Thinking about literally what languages do I speak? When I travel, second question would be, when I travel, am I the type of person that is open to speaking another language, is open to learning more than just the hello and goodbye? And one of the things and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that particular context for the literal portion of this question is I did a lot of research and I spoke to a lot of people, and just in general life, I speak to a lot of people from different countries. And one thing that resonated with everyone was when you speak the language, when you try, it's not even like you're fluent, obviously, but when you try, there's such a level of respect and connection that happens when you do that. So when I was in Paris, I remember being able to talk to, now I definitely got to the point where I needed Google Translate because it was only a year that I was practicing and learning. But there was just so many connections with people that I knew I wouldn't have been able to have if I didn't go that extra step and really learn. And that also helped me, really embrace the cultural experiences and understanding just how similar we are as humans. We all go through the same emotions, and it's just a deeper level of connection, which is why I'm here. I want to connect with people on a very deep level. I want to understand people on a very deep level. So that's the literal portion of what languages do I speak. The figurative portion would be, what languages do I speak? Let's see, emotionally, right? What is my emotional language? When I'm speaking, am I showcasing empathy? Am I showcasing compassion? Am I showcasing understanding? Am I speaking the language of understanding? Am I speaking the language of open-mindedness? Am I speaking the language of connection? So I really challenge you with this both ways, really give yourself the space to look at this both ways. Look at this literally, what languages do I speak? And that figurative, that kind of, what languages do I speak? I'll give you a few more. So what languages do I speak emotionally? What languages do I speak physically, right? How am I treating my body, right? Am I moving? Am I sedentary? Am I, all these types of things. So emotionally, physically, what languages do I speak socially? And it can go on and on and on, but I don't like giving too many questions because I don't want to overwhelm you, but take the time and really answer the questions that are resonating with you. This podcast is for me as much as it is for you. If something that I'm asking isn't resonating with you, don't do it. Don't ask yourself, but give yourself the space to look at it in a different way, right? There is no wrong way to self-reflect. Any insights that you come to or you discover about yourself are always going to be valuable, no matter how those insights come about. So those were the questions that I had on my heart today. Really excited about this one. I love to travel and I love to experience different cultures. Even when I was in Europe, I didn't stay anywhere where tourists stay. I don't like to be a tourist. I really like to place myself in situations where I can fully understand another human experience from completely different perspectives. So really give yourself the space and the grace, right? We're asking these questions with grace. We're not judging ourselves, but really give yourself some time to reflect on this, however, in whatever way suits you best. So those are the questions I had on my heart. Please rate, review, share this podcast. If it was helpful for you, it will probably be helpful for someone else. So until next time, take care.